You ever have that feeling you're staring at a totally blank screen, you know exactly what you want to build, but just thinking about all the boilerplate code to get started is exhausting? Well, there's a new buzzword for getting past that hurdle: vibe coding. It's all about partnering up with an AI, turning your ideas, your vibes, directly into code. So let's break down what that actually means. Here's the plan. We're going to define what vibe coding is, see what it looks like in the real world, stack it up against the old school way of doing things, look at the good and the bad, and then we'll talk about what this means for the future.
All right, let's dive right in. Time to pull back the curtain on this new term that's been floating around. At its heart, what in the world is vibe coding?
I mean, come on. Every single developer has had this thought. You've got this perfect, crystal clear idea in your head, but then you get bogged down by syntax and setup and all the little things that just slow you down. What if you could just say what you want and poof, there it is?
Well, that's pretty much the whole idea behind vibe coding. It's a huge shift in thinking. You stop being just a coder, writing every single line, and you become more like a director. You describe your vision in plain English, and you have an AI copilot that's actually writing the code for you. It's less about giving strict commands and way more about having a conversation. Hey, this isn't some far-off sci-fi concept. These tools are already here, right inside our code editors. We're talking about things like GitHub Copilot or Amazon's Code Whisperer. These are all powered by these massive language models like GPT-4, which have been trained on literally billions of lines of code from all over the internet. These are the engines that turn our vibes into actual working software.
Okay, so let's get practical and see how this all comes together in a real workflow. This is where vibe coding really starts to make sense, when you see it as a real back-and-forth dialogue.
So, imagine you've got an idea for a quick little app. With vibe coding, you don't start by architecting classes and functions. Nope, you just start with a simple human sentence, just like this one. You're literally just telling the AI what you want to do. And boom, just like that, the AI gets what you're asking for and spits out a whole Python script. In a matter of seconds, you have a working prototype, a foundation you can start playing with right away. But of course, it's rarely perfect on the first shot, right? So you run the code and bam, it breaks. This is a super common programming problem. The code wants a number, but it's getting text mixed in with it. In the old days, this is where you'd start digging through the code, probably Googling the error message. But with vibe coding, you just keep the conversation going. You don't have to go off on a solo debugging mission. You can just copy and paste the error right back to the AI and ask it for a fix, just like you would with a teammate. And this, right here, shows you the real magic of this process. The AI doesn't just fix the bug. It tells you why it happened and what it did to solve it. It's this constant, collaborative loop. You prompt, you test, you ask for a fix, and you refine. That little example is the perfect setup for our next section, where we're going to put this new conversational style head-to-head with the traditional way of writing code. This table really nails the key differences. With traditional coding, you are in complete control. It's just you, the code, and a whole lot of focus. With vibe coding, it's a team sport. But check out that error handling row. Your job kind of shifts from being the perfect code writer to being an expert code reviewer. And this is a big one, that privacy row. Sending your prompts to an outside AI is maybe fine for a hobby project, but it's a huge no-go for any sensitive proprietary code. So with those trade-offs in mind, let's get real. When is vibe coding a great idea, and when should you be a little more careful? It's time to weigh the pros and cons. Yeah, there's a real balance you have to strike here. On the one hand, the speed is amazing. It keeps you in that creative flow state, lets you build prototypes like crazy, and you can even learn new ways of coding from it. But on the other hand, there are some serious risks. If you lean on it too much, your own skills might get a little rusty. The AI can write code that's generic or has sneaky little bugs. And like we said, privacy is a huge deal. It's a powerful tool, but you have to be the one in charge, thinking critically about what it gives you. And all of this leads us to the million-dollar question. Looking at everything we've talked about, what does vibe coding really tell us about where software development is headed? The most important thing to remember is this. This isn't about AI coming to replace developers. It's about changing what it means to be a developer. The job is shifting away from just writing syntax and more towards high-level thinking, creative solutions, and being a really, really good editor of the code that your super fast, but not always perfect, AI partner writes.
So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. We're moving away from the idea of a developer as this lone genius builder and more towards a developer as a director who guides a powerful AI co-pilot. Is this partnership going to be the new normal for how we build the software of tomorrow? It's a pretty fascinating thing to think about.